Hey everyone, this is Scrap Computer here. In this video I'm going to be covering a quick but important objective decision. Which is better, the Elder Dragon or the Baron buff? Now this is of course taken with a pinch of salt. I'll explain this later on. This is a surprisingly simple point. Let's cover what both provide. The Baron, he provides 300 gold and 1400 experience. Also, the most importantly, it grants Hand of the Baron buff to all living members on your team. The buff increases your attack damage and ability power, as well as an aura that promotes nearby minions and recall time decreases. The amount of AD and ability power is up to 40 a piece depending on point in the game, so very late game it's 40, early on it could be less. The Elder Dragon. He's worth 25 gold, 75 to 300 experience, but you do get Aspect of the Dragon buff, which grants 45 plus 45 for every elemental dragon stack, true damage in all spells and basic attacks against non-turrets for 3 seconds. Additionally, all previous dragons are improved by 50%. Okay, pretty simple, we know what both provide, so when do you get which one? Now I'm going to cover the scenarios in which choosing a dragon and baron comes along, as it's not just a simple choice from which is better, that's not a thing, but it's better depending on what scenarios both teams are in, and I'll explain them all. You have to trade. So basically, trading is when you will get one but lose the other. This depends on how your team is doing. If you're trading, the behind team should get the Baron. Now, the reason for this is simple. The stats are nice, but it's just to help you avoid wave clearing and losing turrets. This means that the enemy team will have to be forced to turret dive you, which of course is kind of difficult, but with good wave clear on your team side, you can wave clear the minions, and the team with the dragon buff are going to have trouble engaging in you or forced to have to fight under the turret, which is a decent advantage. The Baron buff can help basically stall out the game for you to get back into it to a degree. The ahead team, the Baron buff as well, surprisingly. Even when your enemy has the Elder, assuming you're ahead, it will only slightly equalize the stats, as you still get a little AD and AP to yourself from the Baron. And remember, the enemy teams behind more than likely doesn't have many dragons, which means that they won't have many stacks anyway, so the dragon buff won't be that effective in them. With Baron, you can siege and still win the fights even if they do have that dragon, because although the dragon's really powerful, it's not going to win if you're ahead still, and since they're going to be forced to fight with the Elder Dragon, if you're ahead you should win anyway. They won't be able to wave clear and stall out your Baron buff, and you'll be able to siege them out really easily. So in a trade, avoid giving away the Baron, as the Baron can stall the Elder Dragon if played well. Now, an exception to this is if the enemy team have tons of dragons for both being behind and ahead teams. If you have tons of dragons, you can force all-ins even with the Baron buff and dive easily. This is a caveat and an exception to the rule. Second note or exception, if the enemy team have a great dive with the dragon, generally you should avoid letting them have that. The dragon's really effective in quick dives, so again, if their enemy team is really good at diving, even if you've got wave clear, they could still dive you, so try to make them avoid getting that as well. Last note, if you have no wave clear, you need to fight to defend your turret 100%. So bruiser compositions, largely assassin based compositions, very all-in oriented compositions, you have to get the dragon no matter what, because you're going to be fighting to defend these turrets because you don't have wave clear to slaughter the game anyway. All of these points are very important to remember, and if you do, you're going to have perfect decision making. One then the other. Basically, if you have time to get one and then a fight will commence for the other, this is extremely common. A lot of people get one, then the enemy team basically counteract the other objective after you've got one of them. So this is the most common scenario you'll face. It's basically when you have time to get one while your enemy are dead, but once you've finished the Baron, for example, the enemy will go back and fight you for Dragon. This is also good to ensure you know what team should have it at what point, so just do what I'm about to say. If this is ever the scenario, always, without exception, get the Elder Dragon first. Now, there are a few reasons for this. Number one, the Elder Dragon buff helps you get the Baron, so it is true damage on your auto attacks and spells, and that's going to help kill the Baron really quickly, and if you've got mounted drakes, you'll go through it like butter. So getting one helps getting the Baron in time quite quickly, and in general means you'll get it very fast and more easily. Number two, and most importantly, Elder Dragon is a far better combat amp, so once obtained you can easily fight for the Baron more easily with a massive increase of your damage, with the true damage coming through all heal. So a full team with Elder Dragon will easily win a fight, and the enemy knows this, so they're going to try and avoid fighting you with Elder Dragon, where if you had Baron buff and you fought for Elder Dragon, they'd be like, well, it's Baron buff. I mean, it's something, it's a little bit of AD, a little bit of AP, but it's nowhere near as strong as Elder Dragon and actually fighting for the objective. Overall, Elder Dragon will help you win the fight to force the Baron or make the Baron more easily to get, generally due to increased true damage and of course any mountain drakes. Always get the Elder Dragon first, as it helps get the other one. Elder Dragon, and if you remember anything, Elder Dragon helps you get the Baron. Baron doesn't necessarily help you get the Elder Dragon or ensure it. This is a basic statement, but very, very true. Always get the Elder Dragon first. These are the two main scenarios you'll have to deal with. I hope this video helps. I understand that some people won't agree with the trading section, as it does depend on a little bit of scenarios, which of course I'll agree with, and if you ask me, I do take this video with a grain of salt. The second point is 100% true when you have to trade, but the first one, it really depends on the compositions and how you're working, but I give general advice for it. And of course guys, if you do disagree, give me a comment below guys, and I'd love to read it. And that's it for the video. If you like it, dislike it, dislike it. If you like the content, you can subscribe. And if you think it's horrible, I'm totally wrong here, you can unsub. I am totally fair. Also share it with anyone you know that has a little bit of trouble with Objective Orientation Guide. Finally, I also stream on Twitch TV, guys. The link will be in the low bar. I stream a lot of days a week, and I bring mostly education, a little bit of fun-based content as well. I'd love to see you there. Now I'm done selling my soul. Have a great day. Best luck with the Rift, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.